10 p.m. Konoha. It was late in Konoha and the streets were becoming less crowded. Since the war started, civilians had been ordered to be home by 10. Yumi, who was at the Ichiraku ramen stand, not because she liked ramen, but because she could talk with her new friend, Ayame. It was a slow night. Ayame used the time to talk with Yumi. The topics of conversation were guys, girly things, and whatnot. When the curfew arrived, Ayame looked at Yumi. "Well, it's time we head home." "Yes, I should head back to the hotel." "Well, Ayame, it's been good talking to you. I'll see you later." Ayame waved at her new friend. "Bye, Yumi." Yumi walked the direction of the hotel, which was about a 10-minute walk. Unknown to her, there were 4 ninjas lurking high above. The ninjas nodded at each other, then blurred out of sight. Yumi kept walking without any knowledge of this. She was left to her thoughts. One went back to Naruto and the talk they had before he left, and other thoughts about the village. She didn't hate the village, but she didn't like the looks that they were giving her. She was kicked out of one of the stores earlier that day. The owner called her a demon lover. Yumi was hurt by this comment. If only a little of what she witnessed today was Naruto's treatment, then she could understand his hatred for this village. Yumi just sighed. Prejudice would be something that would always remain in this world. She shook herself from those thoughts and continued her trek to the hotel. Yumi passed an alley where she saw a young girl crying. Yumi went over to help the little girl. "Are you okay, sweetie? Did you lose your mommy and daddy?" "Yes, I want to go home," the little girl said while still crying. Yumi extended her hand to the little girl and smiled. "Come, I'll help you find your mommy and daddy." The little girl extended her hand, but when she grabbed it, she suddenly gave a smirk. She then transformed into a leaf ninja, who was about Kakashi's height, with black hair, black eyes, and a scar on his cheek. He threw her to the wall. 3 more ninjas appeared next to the man. All of the said ninja were Kakashi age or older. The guy holding her squeezed her neck more. The ninja in the middle stepped up to her and gave her a smirk. "Gado Sawado, nice to meet you, demon slut." Yumi struggled for air, but the guy had a firm grip on her throat. Gado walked up to her and slapped her. The ninja holding her throat dropped her to the ground. Yumi clutched her face. Before Yumi could do anything, she was kicked into the wall by one of the ninjas. Yumi tried to stand but was pinned to the wall by 2 ninjas. One held her left arm, while the other held her right arm. Gado walked up to her and clutched her face with his hand. "Your demon boyfriend held a knife to my throat a couple of days back. I would return the favor, but what I have planned should suffice." Gado licked her neck. Yumi closed her eyes and cried. This guy and his friends were going to try and rape her. Gado went to grab Yumi's shirt, but she kicked him in the gonads. This caused him to back away for a second. When he regained composure, he hit her so hard that she became unconscious. Gado smiled. This was going to be fun, he thought. Gado walked up to her. He was about to rip off her shirt, but he found that his hand stopped inches away. The other ninjas wondered what he was doing, but didn't have time to contemplate because bugs started to crawl on them. The men that had bugs on their bodies went limp, causing them to pass out. Gado started to back up away from Yumi. "My body, what the hell is going on?" Gado said with a slightly fearful voice. Gado started taking steps towards a shadow of a man until he finally came face to face with Konoha's lead strategist. Shikamaru wore a lazy facial expression. "You aren't going to rape that defenseless lady over there, now were you?" Gado was scared. Although he was a jonin, he stood no chance against Shikamaru. Shikamaru looked behind himself. "What are you doing here, Shino?" Shino stepped out of the shadow. "I was ordered by Lady Tsunade to watch over her. The bug on her neck let off a sonar sound that my bugs picked up. One of my bugs informed me she was in danger. May I ask you what you are doing here, Shikamaru?" "Naruto asked me to watch over her. I didn't think watching over her would be this troublesome, but it is," Shikamaru stated. Shikamaru turned to the leaf ninja still in his hold. "You are officially under arrest for attacking a person with temporary citizenship here in Konoha. Shino, drain him of his energy and alert Anbu." Shino complied and drained him of his energy, causing the guy to drop to the ground. Shino threw a kunai with a note around it in the air, causing it to explode, leaving a red flare in the air. In a matter of minutes, Anbu appeared on the scene. 5 Anbu members appeared on the scene. One of them walked forth to address the member of the Nara clan. "Shikamaru, what is the problem here?" Shikamaru pointed to the men behind him. These men here attacked a lady with temporary citizenship. Shino and I caught them in the act. If you will, take them in. They are under arrest. The female envoy captain with purple hair motioned for one of her soldiers to pick up the female, and laid out leaf ninjas. Take them to the holding cell, and take the girl to the hospital. The envoy members phased out of sight, leaving the captain alone with Shikamaru and Shino. Yugao, you know what's going to happen if Naruto finds out, Shikamaru said to the lady. Yes, and I pray for that poor soul. However, any man who sees fit to try and rape a woman shouldn't wear the leaf symbol. I'll make sure that his punishment fit the crime. Well, I'm off. Take care of yourself, Shikamaru. Yugao disappeared in a poof of smoke. Shikamaru sighed. He turned around to face Shino, only to find that the young man was gone. I guess I should head over to the hospital for a while. She didn't look hurt too bad. Goddamn Naruto, why the hell did you ask me to help with the troublesome task? You yellow-haired bastard. I could be getting some sleep, but no, you asked me to watch that girl. No sense in complaining. Better get going. Shikamaru disappeared in a poof of smoke, leaving the alley deserted once again. At the hospital, it was about half an hour that the incident took place. Yumi was starting to wake up. When she opened her eyes, everything was blurry. After adjusting her eyes to the brightness of the lights, Yumi saw the brunette that she saw when she was at the Hokage office. The lady smiled at her. How do you feel, Yumi? Yumi sat up in the bed. I feel okay. After Yumi realized what happened, she started to panic. Oh my god, what happened to that guy? Yumi was tearing up when a voice cut her off. No, I stopped it before it got that far. Yumi looked up to see a guy standing against the wall. Shikamaru, you saved me? Shikamaru pointed to the person next to Yumi's bed. Shino also helped. I'm glad he did. It would have been troublesome to deal with those other guys. Yumi turned to her right to see Shino standing like a statue. Yumi jumped up and hugged him before he could realize what happened. She started crying tears of joy. Thank you, Shino. Shino didn't know how to react. In fact, his face had a slight blush. Yumi broke away and got up to walk over to Shikamaru and kissed him on the cheek. Thank you too, Shikamaru. Shikamaru looked at Yumi. This turned out to be so damn troublesome. Anyway, I have to go. I got things to do. Later. Shizune walked to Yumi's side. Well, I healed you. You're lucky that those ninjas didn't harm you too badly. There are no visible cuts, and if you want to leave, you can. Shino will escort you to the hotel room. Shino spoke. Actually, I cannot do that, Shizune. I have other matters to tend to. I have asked Rock Lee if he would escort Yumi back to her hotel. Okay, that'll work, Shizune responded. Rock Lee reporting for duty! Lee screamed, causing everyone in the hospital to jump slightly. Shizune gave Lee a forced smile. Lee, remember that this place is a hospital. You can't be too loud. Lee, could you please wait for Yumi outside? I have to finish up with her in here. Shino, your excuse as well. Both men nodded and headed out. Shizune turned back to Yumi. Are you okay? Because if you need to talk, we can talk about anything you want. I just want to put this incident behind me. Shizune, please don't tell Naruto of this incident. I fear that he might kill those guys if he knew what happened, and I don't want people to see him as a monster. He's dealt with too much, so promise me you won't tell him. Yumi asked the medic ninja. I won't tell him. I do think he should know, but that's up to you. Well, Yumi, if there's anything that you wish to talk about, just come and see me. Come, let's go. Shizune placed her hand out, signaling Yumi to go first. The two ladies walked to the exit where Rock Lee was waiting with the sensei. It has come to my attention that Lee has been asked to protect Yumi. The beautiful green beast of Konoha will escort you to your hotel with the assistance of the greatest pupil a man has ever had. Guy's remark caused sweat to drop on Shizune and Yumi's heads. Shizune looked at Guy. This is perfect. Guy and Lee, your job is to stand watch over Yumi until 8 AM tomorrow morning. You two are to stay outside of her and of her mother's door and protect them. Guy responded, this is an excellent mission. If I fail to protect Yumi and her mother, then I'll run from here to Suna and then back to Konoha. I will also do 500 laps upon my return. Guy-sensei, that is great. If I fail to protect Yumi, then I will do the same. You're the greatest, Guy-sensei. Lee, Guy-sensei, Lee, Guy-sensei. Shizune cleared her throat, catching the attention of everyone. You guys better get going. I have things to do. Shizune turned around and headed back into the hospital. One of the nurses ran up to her. Shizune, is Hinata's room? You have to come, hurry. Shizune followed the nurse. When they arrived at Hinata's room, the door was wide open. The room was nice and neat, however, there was no Hinata in it. Tsunade walked into the room to find a note. "Tsunade, don't worry about me, I'm okay. I will be back in 2 months. Please, can you cover for me until then? Also, tell Naruto that I said thank you." Tsunade started rubbing her head. This wasn't happening. Tsunade walked out of the room. She turned to the gathered medics. "As far as anyone is concerned, Hinata is still in this room. Don't worry, she's okay. This note is to prove it." Tsunade walked past the confused medics. She was heading back to the Hokage Tower. How am I going to explain this to Lady Tsunade? "Well, I hope you're alright, Hinata, because Lady Tsunade is going to kill me." Tsunade continued to walk to the tower, thinking of how she was going to break the news to Tsunade. Mist Village. Temari and Kankuro had scouted out the Rock Ninjas and the Cloud Ninjas. Watching the fight with Naruto, then following the Rock Ninjas and Cloud Ninjas, they discovered nothing of importance. The only thing that they couldn't figure out is why the blue-haired Cloud Ninja wanted Naruto and Sasuke dead. There was something definitely there, but they would wait until the Cloud played enough pieces, so they could predict their movement. Temari and Kankuro arrived at the roof of the hotel, where Gaara was sitting, looking at the full moon. Without looking at them, Gaara spoke. "Report." "You didn't find much out, Gaara. The Rock Ninjas headed to their hotels, and the Cloud Ninjas had an altercation with Naruto. It seems that the female Cloud Ninja wants to kill Naruto for killing her father, the leader of the Akatsuki. The blue-haired Cloud Ninja also said that he wishes to kill Naruto, and the Uchiha. What do you think is going on, Gaara?" Gaara remained quiet. He was thinking over what Temari said, and why did they want Naruto and Sasuke dead? It finally hit him. "I see what the Cloud is trying to do," Kankuro spoke. "What is it that they're trying to do, Gaara?" "They're trying to take out 2 of the Leaf's most valuable assets. If they take out Sasuke, then the Leaf loses its future Hokage. And if they take out Naruto, they take out another threat. I don't know what they're planning exactly, but they're using this meeting as an intermission period, so they can collect themselves and come up with a better strategy. You two rest. I'll try to figure the rest of this out tomorrow." Temari and Kankuro nodded, and headed inside the hotel. Gaara looked up at the moon again. "Why do I get a sense of deja vu? I guess I'll have to wait to see what happens." Naruto was lying on the bed, looking at the ceiling. Everyone had their own room. Naruto was thinking over things. He heard a knock at the door. This caused him to turn to the door. "Come in, it's open." Naruto saw Neji enter his room. "Oh, it's you, Neji. What do you want?" Neji leaned against the wall near the door. "It's about Hinata. I was wondering, how long until she wakes up?" "I really don't know," Naruto answered. "Naruto, I was wondering if it's possible for you to have my seal removed as well," Neji asked. "Neji, Hinata's situation and yours is different. I could take you to get the seal removed, but then people would get suspicious, especially Hiyashi." "No, just wait and see what happens," Naruto said. "Naruto, I have an idea of why you removed the seal from Hinata. You think she is strong enough to challenge her father. Hinata is going to need my help if she's going to try and change the Hyuga, Naruto. Please free Hinata and me, and the promise that you made to help change the Hyuga. Help me get this seal removed so I can help her," Neji pleaded. "Look at you. Do you have so little faith in Hinata? The fact of the matter is that she's not weak as you all might think she is. I already did my part to help change the Hyuga. The rest lies with Hinata. Besides, I have my own shit to deal with right now, Neji. So if you would, please leave," Naruto said to the Hyuga. Neji stepped out of the door partially before turning back to Naruto. "I hope you're right about this, Naruto. However, I still think that you should have my seal removed to help her. This isn't your fight, Neji. It's Hinata's, and Hinata's alone. Let her deal with it," Naruto said. Neji walked away, thinking about what Naruto said. Neji wanted to change the Hyuga way for so long, but couldn't due to his seal. Neji was truly a slave in his own family. 10 a.m. the next day, Tsunade was on the balcony, looking at the village below her. She was just informed by Mist Ninjas that the leaders of Grass, Rain, Waterfall, and Star Village had arrived about an hour ago. It was 2 hours before the meeting, and Tsunade was getting a bad feeling about this whole thing. Kakashi landed next to Tsunade. "Lady Tsunade, what are you thinking about?" Kakashi asked. "The Raikage is planning something, I just can't figure it out." "What did you find out, Kakashi?" Tsunade asked. "Well, I couldn't find out much when everyone was sleeping during the night except me. The Raikage and the Tsuchikage are closely guarded, and their ninjas aren't letting anything slip. It doesn't matter, we'll find out soon enough anyway. By the way, where's Naruto? Kakashi asked. I don't know, I'm sure he's okay. I think I need to talk to Gaara, maybe he knows something, Tsunade said. You already know what he knows. He had Temari and Kankuro follow Naruto. What Sasuke and Neji told you about the guy who wanted to kill Naruto and Sasuke is the same thing I was told by Gaara, Kakashi responded. They might try something while Naruto and Sasuke are here. Leave me, Kakashi. I got something to do. Kakashi pulled out his book and walked away and disappeared. Tsunade was trying to figure out what was really going on here. She couldn't figure it out for the life of her. Tsunade decided to leave her room for a bit and walk around the village to clear her head. Tsunade left the hotel and walked down the streets in Mist Village. She looked around to see ninjas with mist, forehead protectors, and swords on their backs walking around the village. The leader of the Leaf was trying to find something to do with the 2 hours she had left to burn. On a roof behind her, a man in a black cloak followed the woman's every movement. Tsunade sensed someone was watching her from far behind. When she turned around to look at the rooftop of the building about 20 feet away from here, she saw nothing. Tsunade decided to keep her eyes open. Someone was definitely following her. Tsunade turned to her left and saw a bar with a slot machine in it. She figured it wouldn't hurt to play for a little while. It would help her burn the time. Tsunade went in and played. Sakura was looking for a sensei. Tsunade now had only 20 minutes to get to the meeting. Sakura saw Tsunade in the bar playing a slot machine. She walked inside the bar to have the eyes of a couple of guys follow her. As she walked, Sakura just ignored them and walked up to her sensei. Sakura tapped Tsunade on the shoulder. Lady Tsunade, the meeting is about to start soon. Kakashi sensei and everyone else there, we should hurry. Wait one more quarter and I'll win. It's going to happen this time, I can feel it, Tsunade said to her apprentice. Lady Tsunade, we have to go now. What would it look like if the Hokage is late? Tsunade looked at Sakura. You're right, let's go. Nobody could win off those things anyway. The 2 women left the bar. Sakura led Tsunade to the designated place they were going to have the meeting. It was a large building. Tsunade figured that the meeting wouldn't take place in the Mizukage Tower. That would be just asking for a future attack. The 2 women were greeted by the Mishinobi who allowed them to pass. After a minute or so of walking, they entered a room that looked like a committed chamber. In the middle of the chamber was a meeting table. The Raikage, Tsuchikage, Mizukage, Kazekage, the leader of Rain, Grass, and Waterfall were all sitting at the table. Tsunade walked up and took her seat next to Gaara, and the leader from the Grass, with the leader of Waterfall sitting next to Gaara. The Raikage was facing Tsunade on the opposite side, sitting in between the leader of Rain and Earth. The Mizukage was at the head of the table. The shinobi guards for various village leaders were sitting 10 feet behind their respective leaders at the table. Naruto stood between Sakura and Neji. Kakashi was on Naruto's left, and on Neji's right. Temari and Kankuro were both standing next to Kakashi. Koen and the other Jonin were standing behind the Raikage. Koen looked back and forth at Sasuke and Naruto, giving off an evil smirk. Komoko was glaring daggers at Naruto for beating her badly. The rock ninjas to the left of Koen and the rain ninjas to the right of Kadon gave Naruto the same looks of hate. All of them got mad because Naruto wasn't looking at any of them. His arms were folded and his head was down as if he were asleep. The Mizukage spoke. Welcome, village leaders. It seems we're here today to try and stop this war going on. When I got the letter from the Raikage, I was honored to hold the peace negotiations here in the mist. It's time that we bring an end to this war. Most importantly, it's time we make a standing peace treaty. Lord Raikage, you are the one to propose this meeting. I give you the floor. The Raikage cleared his throat. Thank you, Lord Mizukage. The reason I called this meeting was to put an end to the needless bloodshed between our villages. The only reason we don't have the 4th Great Ninja War in our hands is because the Mist Village was wise enough to stay out of the war. As far as I can remember, my village has had conflict with the Leaf. The same can be said for the Rock, I'm sure. I call this meeting so the war between the Leaf and the Cloud can be stopped. Because of our actions, we have dragged the sand, rock, grass, rain, and the waterfall into our war due to their alliance. I think we should bring an end to this. What do you think, Lady Hokage? Tsunade looked at the Raikage, who had a fake smile plastered on his face. I agree. There are too many people losing loved ones to this war. I would love to end this war, but the matter of the fact is that you declared war on the Leaf. What do you propose we do now to end this war that we couldn't have done about 8 months ago? The Raikage responded. Well, after the fall of the Sound, it was brought to my attention that Konoha was after the land in Rice Country. I mean, it would make a great addition to the fire country. However, rice country is on the border of lightning country. We had to act quick, and that's what we did. Gaara spoke. That is a pathetic excuse to wage war on a village. Besides, the daimyos of each respective country could have decided what to do with the land. Also, Rice was a country that didn't have a shinobi village to start with. It was run by feudal lords and daimyos. This is a pathetic excuse. If you're going to try to make up something, at least have a better story. The Raikage smiled at Gaara. Well, Lord Kazekage, it isn't something that I fabricated. It is all true. The rice country was already deported to begin with. When Orochimaru started the Sound, he was in complete control, which was the deal he made with the feudal lords. He would bring prosperity to the country if they gave him total control. Since he was killed, it was decided that lightning added rice to our country. Tsunade spoke. I see now. You wanted the fertile lands in rice country. Gaara does make a valid point. The excuse to even start a war based on assumptions questions your ability as a leader. We could have avoided this war and talked it over. The truth is, the Leaf Village wasn't even thinking about adding rice to Fire Country. Although we weren't thinking about it, I do believe that we should divide it. Here's how it's going to go. The south and west of the rice will go to my village, since it's geographically closer. The north and east section of rice will go to the cloud. Do you agree to those terms? The Raikage continued to smile. Yes, those terms are perfect. Now we just have to get a map drawn up to divide our lines. The Mizukage motioned for one of his men to get a map of the rice country. While he was doing that, Naruto turned to Neji and whispered, "You know this whole thing about him wanting to divide rice is total bullshit. He's planning something." Neji spoke. I know, it's like Lady Hokage said, his war could have been avoided, but it wasn't. Sakura joined in the conversation. Well, Tsunade just confirmed that he is planning something. Naruto glanced at Sakura. How so? Sakura spoke. I'm no expert, but everyone knows that the south and the west of rice are more fertile. If the war was truly about that, then he wouldn't have agreed to our deal so quickly. Neji heard what Sakura said and responded. I guess this war isn't going to end even after this meeting. Looks like the Leaf will keep you employed until it's completely over. I don't care. 90 million is worth it. Anyway, it's best we keep our ears open. We might miss something. Naruto informed the two, who nodded and turned back to listen. After the dividing of the sections, Tsunade spoke. Also, for dragging our allies into this mess, it is our duty to split the profits on whatever comes out of the rice. The Raikage was a bit hesitant to answer this question. He didn't want to split profits. The profits gained would put his village in a better position. It seemed Tsunade forced him into a position where he had to say, yes, that sounds fair. The Yamakage, or the leader of the range, spoke. Well, since this war started, the selection of choosing candidates has been based on the council of my village. Although I have no problem with that, I think it would be better if we go back to the format that we had before the start of this war. The Mizukage spoke. That is a good idea. The tuning exams have always been used as a way to show the village's strength, without the needs of war. Since I'm meditating this strategy, I think it would be best to hold it here in the Mist Village. Gaara spoke once more. The Sand will open up its doors for the exam. The Tsuchikage spoke next. Sand hosted the last Chunin exam. We should continue with tradition and hold it in the next host village. What village was to host it next? Tsunade spoke. The Leaf was the next village to host it, but I don't feel that the Leaf should host it. The Mist is better suited for it. The Raikage waved Tsunade off. Nonsense, the Leaf would be capable. I mean, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, it could be months from now, whenever it is good for your village. Gaara thought about this for a moment. Why did it have to be held at the Leaf? Logically, the Leaf was the next village to host it, so it would only be right, but he knew there was something behind them wanting to hold it at the Leaf. Gaara would worry about it later. The Tsuchikage spoke. How does 6 months sound, Lady Hokage? Tsunade thought about it for a moment. 6 months is fine. I think it's time we signed the papers documenting the treaty between villages. I couldn't agree more, the Raikage stated with an evil smirk. The papers were brought forth. Tsunade and the Raikage both signed the agreement. Tsunade looked up at the Raikage after she finished signing the paper. It's official. This war is over. However, if I see cloud ninjas near Konoha's borders, I will not hesitate to remove them off our territory by force. The Raikage responded. Likewise, Lady Hokage, I figure it should take about a month to get this straightened out with the government of Rice Country. I'm glad we can come to an agreement, Tsunade. No hard feelings. Nope, not unless you try to attack my village again. We have no problems, Tsunade told the leader of the cloud. Kakashi spoke loud enough for Neji to hear. So, he's going to try and finish this war. This tactic has been used already. Let's see where he takes it, Neji spoke. I assume we are leaving immediately after this meeting is over. Yes, Kakashi stated. They both looked back to see that the meeting was now officially over. Tsunade walked out followed by her entourage. Gaara and his siblings quickly followed. Everyone was now heading towards the docks. Gaara was walking beside Tsunade. You know the whole thing with Rice Country. That was complete nonsense. I fought in so many wars during my time. Of course, I know that was complete bull. If my gut is right about this, and it usually is, then we're about to have another great ninja war on our hands, Tsunade told Gaara. What about the mist? We should have them as allies. It would greatly swing things in our favor, Gaara suggested. That's not possible. Everyone turned to Naruto to see what he meant by that. Sakura spoke. Care to elaborate, Naruto? Well, I've been thinking, and the question that I came up with is why would he want to hold the summit here in the mist? Sure, the mist is neutral, but there has to be another reason, Naruto informed Sakura. Tsunade finished up. Naruto's right. The reason I said we're going to have another great shinobi war on our hands is because the mist is going to get involved. I hate to say it, but they won't be fighting on our side. Sakura looked at Tsunade. But Sensei, why would the mist get involved? Kakashi spoke next. The Raikage had to promise him something. What is it? I don't know, but it has to be something if he wants to get involved. Well, whatever it is, we have to start planning, Tsunade stated. Sasuke spoke. Deja vu all over again. Yes, so it would seem. However, we will be prepared, but he will have more troops than Orochimaru, Kakashi stated. Tamari was thinking about something. Lady Tsunade, what are you going to do about guests at the exams? If he plans to follow Orochimaru, then how are you going to evacuate all those people? I'm not really worried about that. It's covered. What I'm worried about is 3 ninja villages attacking us at once. I guess, with the help of Suna, Grass, and Waterfall, we will be able to end this war in 6 months, Tsunade informed Tamari. So, we'll be making our last stand there then, Gaara stated. More or less, yes. When we get back to the Leaf, I'll inform my troops. I'll also send out messenger birds to Grass, Neji, Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto here. You guys will go to Waterfall to inform them of our plan. Seeing as Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke have been there and know how to get inside the village, it shouldn't be a problem for you guys. I think I'll pass, Naruto said. What? You're still under contract, Naruto, Tsunade stated. I have other things to take care of. Don't worry, I'll be back in about 2 weeks. I have to go to Sea Country. If this Sensor guy is right, then I have to go. Tell Yumi I'm sorry. Naruto turned around and walked off. He headed toward a different boat. Tsunade looked at Naruto's back, then turned back to Sakura. Well, I guess you, Neji, and Sasuke will be going. I'll assign someone else to your team when we get back in the village. Kakashi spoke. So, what do you want me to do? Tsunade looked at the copy ninja. Nothing at the moment. I'll think of something when I get back in the village. That much is certain. Anyway, we should be going now. The group got on the boat. In about 7 hours, they would be back in Leaf Village. Tsunade was a little disappointed that she didn't go to see Sensor, but she couldn't think about that now. Knowing that he's alive is enough. Tsunade knew she had a lot to prepare for. She just hoped Konoha was ready for what was to come. Back in the meeting room, it missed. In the meeting room, the Raikage, Tsuchikage, Leader of Rain, and the Mizukage all remained with their entourages. So, Mizukage, you will join us, with the Golden Fox fighting in this war. I'm sure it's a matter of time before Kaito Saichi shows himself. You can finally take him down. Without him, the mist won't be divided as it is now, Raikage spoke. How do you know any of that? The Mizukage asked in shock. The Raikage spoke. I know that many felt that he should have been Mizukage, but you framed him for the murder of the previous feudal lord, Mizukage. With him out of the way, the faction that is loyal to him, yet serve you, will fall. Fight with us, Mizukage. So, you're saying that I will get Saito Kaiichi. If I do this, I want to kill him personally, the Mizukage stated. The Raikage shrugged. I don't care, you can do whatever you want with him. From what my intelligence gathered, he appears in almost every Chunin event with the exception of the one in this village, of course. I think he likes to check out the participants and their potential for the future. I'm certain that he will be in the Leaf. You can go after him. Just tell me you will align yourself with the Cloud, Rain, and Earth. I agree, the Mizukage responded. Great, send your best Genin team to the exam. When the teams advance, we will be invited to watch our teams. Once inside of Konoha, we will strike the heart of the village. Konoha will fall. All of us will have our forces there. This will be great. Truly great, the Raikage stated. The Tsuchikage looked at the Raikage. So, what are we going to do about Uzumaki? After what he did, I can assure you that the Amakage wouldn't disagree with me on wanting him dead. Kohen stepped up and spoke. He's off limits. Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha are my targets. You can do whatever, but if you guys get in my way, I won't hesitate to kill you. The bald-headed frog ninja spoke. Do you really think you can come back after that threat? Kohen spoke once more. Yes, I think I can, but you're not my enemy. You can select another target, but not Uzumaki and Uchiha. Those two are mine. The Tsuchikage spoke to break the tension. Okay, if it's not too much, could you just give us his head? Kohen responded. Sure, he won't need it, anyway. Well, gentlemen, we should head back to our respective villages to prepare. Kohen, Kadan, Gumoko, Roba, and Daki prepare the ship. We are leaving today. Well, gentlemen, I'll be heading back to my hotel for rest. You gentlemen enjoy your day. The Raikage and his group exited out of the place. As he walked back to the hotel he was staying at, he had a smile on his face. Phase 2 complete. Next phase. The fall of the Munashu clan. At the docks. Naruto watched as the boat to the Leaf sailed off. He talked to the captain of the boat going to Sea Country, and the guy informed him that they would be leaving in a couple of minutes. After a couple of minutes passed, Naruto stepped on the boat. His next destination, Sea Country. Naruto decided to go to the head of the boat and look out into the sea. The spot he had planned to go was occupied by a man in a black cloak. The man turned around as he heard footsteps get closer. When he laid his golden brown eyes on Naruto, he gave a slight smile. So, I see you're heading to Sea Country. What are you doing here? Naruto asked. Just to collect info on the meeting. How did it go? Sensuru asked. The cloud will probably attack during the next Chunin exams in 6 months. That's basically it in a nutshell, Naruto informed Sensuru. Okay, that's good to know. I have to head to the Leaf Village now. I think it's time to go home, Sensuru stated. Sensuru looked at Naruto. Naruto, you should up your GS level. I did already. I moved it up to level 4. I have 6 months to get it to maybe 5. Sensuru disappeared in a reddish-orange flame. Naruto snorted. Show off. Naruto looked out to the sea. It would only take him a couple of hours to get to Sea Country. Naruto just continued to look, preparing for what was to come. In a location unknown, Hinata continued to trek up a tall mountain. With the weight of the gravity seal in her body, it was a physically grueling task. Hinata was determined to reach the top, which wasn't that far, by the way. Hinata finally continued until she finally got to the top of the mountain. In front of her stood a big house. The young Hyuga tried to catch her breath. Her knees were on her hand, and she was breathing hard. Finally catching her breath, Hinata walked towards the house. She knocked on the door and waited for the person to answer. It seems that you decided to take me up on my offer. Yes, Naya. If it's not too much trouble, I would like to use this next month to train and have you teach me how to remove the cage seal, Hinata stated. Come in and have a seat. I'll be back with some tea. Naya let the young lady in. Naya walked off to get some tea while Hinata took a seat. A couple of minutes later, Naya came back with cups of tea. Here you go, sweetie. Let me tell you how it's going to go. You will wake up at 5 every morning, so I can teach you about basic sealing. We will do this until noon for about 2 weeks. From 1 p.m. to about 8 p.m., that is your time to help you get used to the gravity. I will spar with you from time to time, but I must tell you that I'm not as strong as Naruto or Tsunade, but my skills are that of a Jonin, which should be sufficient enough. The 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. training schedule will be for the complete 4 weeks. The 5 p.m. to 12 p.m. schedule will be the same. However, the last 2 weeks I will be teaching you how to remove the cage seal. I don't expect it to take that long, but one can never be too sure. Between the hours of 12 to 1, it'll be your lunch break, and between the hours of 8 to 9, it'll be dinner time, and your time to cleanse yourself. You will be in bed by 9. Do we have an understanding, Hinata? Hinata nodded. Yes, we do. Training will commence tomorrow. Until then, you are free to tour my house and look around outside. Okay. Oh, and Naya? Naya turned back to look at the girl. Thank you for everything. Naya smiled at the girl. Don't mention it. Well, I have stuff I have to work on, Hinata. Your room is on the 2nd floor, the 5th door to the left. Hinata watched Naya walk off. The young white-eyed girl headed up to the room that she was assigned to her. She figured she would rest up. From what Naya told her, Hinata was going to need every ounce of rest she could get. Leaf Village, 7 hours later. In a local bar, a man was sitting, drinking a cup of sake. He could sense the ninjas patrolling the area, keeping an eye on him. It was to be expected. After all, he did look suspicious. Sensuru got up and walked out of the bar and proceeded to walk to the clearing in the village away from civilians. His plan was just to take in the village, but 3 Jonins that surrounded him had different plans. Aoba, along with Kotetsu and Izumo, who achieved their ranks a year ago, surrounded the said man. With his hood on, it was impossible to see who he was. Aoba, who was directly facing him, spoke. "State your name and business here in the Leaf." "My business is none of your concern. You should guys let me go. You 3 are far outclassed." Izumo looked at Kotetsu, who nodded in agreement. Both men immediately took to the air. "Katon, Kyokyo no Jutsu!" The fire hit where Sensuru stood. When the fire cleared, he was nowhere in sight. The 2 Jonins landed on the ground and looked around them. Before they realized what happened, he punched Kotetsu in the gut. Izumo tried to with the fist, but he spun around and chopped in the back of the neck. Both men were unconscious in a matter of seconds. Aoba studied the man. He knew the guy was good. Probably better than Kakashi. He still had to try. "I can't beat this guy, but if I do a big fire jutsu to alert everyone, that should work." Aoba did the hand seals for a fire jutsu. When he finished, a big stream of that would be seen by ninjas, thus alerting to his location. Tsunade and everyone had just got off the boat. Tsunade, along with most of the shinobi in the village, saw a big stream of fire that was near the Nankano River. Without hesitation, Tsunade and everyone else headed over to the location. Karna and Asuma, who were sitting in a tree not too far away from the location, saw it too. They knew something was wrong. They took off to the location. Ino, Tenten, and Shoji, who were walking down the street, saw the blaze. They immediately dropped what they were doing to head over to the location. In the Hyuga compound, Hiyashi and Hanabi were training in the courtyard. Hiyashi and Hanabi both turned to see the fire. He ignored it. "Let's continue." "Yes, father." The 2 continued their training. The Anbu squad that was stationed in the village saw the fire. They all jumped up immediately and blurred out of sight. Aoba landed on the ground panting. He smiled at the man before him. "You have no choice but to answer questions now. Ninjas will be here in a matter of minutes." On cue, he was surrounded by a number of ninjas. The Anbu captain spoke. "State your business, or we will have to use force." Sensuru surveyed the area, then his eyes landed on Kurenai. A smile crossed his lips. He looked at the Anbu captain. "I was just touring this village, but I was attacked. I also have information for the Hokage." "What information do you have for me?" Tsunade stated, causing everyone to turn around to face her. Sensuru smiled again. "Well, what I want to tell you is this." He phased out of sight, planting a kick towards Tsunade's head, but it was blocked. The other ninjas were about to jump in when Kakashi ordered them to stand down. He pulled out his book and continued to read, while Tsunade and the said guy were fighting. Tsunade was on the defensive, and everyone could see that. She decided to step it up and go on the attack. She planned to kick that was blocked. Sensuru jumped back to provide space between himself and the Hokage. He ripped the sleeve off his left arm to find that his forearm was bruised. God damn it, I forgot she hits hard as hell. Sensuru proceeded to heal his arm. He got back in a fighting stance. "Sorry about that. I didn't expect you hit so hard. It's a good thing I know a few medical jutsus." "Don't worry, the next attack will put you down. I will say that medical jutsu is useful for a novice." Tsunade stated. "You're right. You would think growing up with the best medic ninja in the world, and being taught a few medic jutsus, I would be on my way to becoming the next best medic ninja. Oh well, I guess it wasn't meant to be," Sensuru stated. "Best medic ninja? I don't remember teaching." Tsunade's eyes went wide in shock. She dropped her guard. The cloaked man slowly removed his hood, revealing his raven-colored hair and the same golden-brown eyes as Tsunade. Kurenai and Asuma's eyes both went wide. After moments of silence, Kakashi looked up from his book. "Sensuru, long time no see. You sure have changed a lot." Kakashi went back to reading his book. Sweat formed in the back of everyone's head. Tsunade blinked to make sure he was real. She walked up to the man who had height over her and just studied his features. She closed her eyes, and a tear fell from one. When she opened her eyes, she had an angry expression. Before he realized what happened, she punched him dead in the face, causing him to fly back a couple of yards. Tsunade held him by his collar while he was on the ground. "You bastard, where the hell have you been for the past 18 years? Do you know what you put me through, you little shit? I thought you were dead, but I found out that you were alive and kicking, and not once did you come to look for me. She slapped him. Answer me, goddammit! He watched the tears in her eyes. He responded in a whisper. I couldn't come back. I had stuff that needed to be done. I'm sorry. Tsunade spoke in a low voice. Why? Why didn't you let me know? Sensor stood up and hugged her. I couldn't, but I will tell you everything. Tsunade buried her head in his chest and cried. You know who was standing next to her sensei, and Kurenai smiled. So that's Tsunade's son. He's cute for an older guy. Kurenai disappeared out of view. Asuma sighed. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Tsunade lifted her head off of his chest and wiped her tears. She turned around to see the assembled shinobi. What the hell are you standing around for? Get your asses back to work. The ninjas cringed at the sound and then took off immediately. Sensor was walking off, but Tsunade turned back around to catch him leaving. And where the hell do you think you're going? I was going to look for Kurenai, he responded. How the hell you aren't? You will let her be for right now. I haven't seen you in 18 years. There's no way in hell that you're leaving my sight after 10 minutes of seeing you for the first time. Follow me. Tsunade started to walk off. Sensor put his head down. 18 years later, and nothing has changed. At all. Tsunade turned back, seeing him still sitting there. I thought I said hurry. He looked up. Sorry, I got lost in thought. Tsunade and Sensor walked side by side. She looked at her son. He's grown to be quite tall. I lost you before. I will not lose you again. If only Dawn could see you now. Tsunade was happy. She knew that the happiness wouldn't last. They were preparing for a war in 6 months that would take place in their village. But while she had the time for peace, she would try to focus on getting to know what was once lost to her, Sea Country. Naruto had arrived at the compound 3 hours ago. It was now 8 p.m., and he was watching his sensei and his sensei's daughter spar. The little girl lost after 10 minutes of sparring. The sun is going down, Hayami. We should go in and have dinner. The little girl walked up to Naruto. Big brother Naruto, what do you think? Do you think I'm good? He ruffled the little girl's hair. You are excellent. Who knows? You might surpass your father. You think so? She asked with excitement in her voice. Yes, I do, Naruto answered. The girl ran ahead of them. Yes, big brother thinks I'm going to be stronger than dad. The girl kept on ranting about how Naruto believed she was strong. Ryuho smiled at his daughter's antics. You know, she begged me to train her when you brought her back to us. I already intended to do so, but she demanded it. She wakes up every day early to train by herself. She tells me she wants to be as strong as you. It makes an old man jealous that his daughter looks up to you more than her old man. Ryuho crossed his arms, turned his head to the side, and pouted. Naruto laughed at his sensei. I'm sorry about that, sensei, but pouting about it won't change. On a more serious note, when did the trials begin? He turned back to Naruto with a serious expression on his face. We'll start the training first thing in the morning. The girl, who was a distance ahead of them, stopped and looked. Big brother, hurry up. If we don't, we won't get a good seat for dinner. Naruto responded. Okay, I'm coming. Go save me a spot for dinner, will you? Naruto turned back to his sensei. Is the training going to be hard? To say it simply, yes, Ryuho responded. Naruto gave a smirk. Good, because I hate easy. The two men continued to the compound with the intent on relaxing, because tomorrow was going to be anything but relaxing.